An architect's scale is a specialized ruler that is used to measure scaled architectural drawings. In this blueprint, the scale is 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. This means that every 1/4 inch on the drawing represents 1 foot in the actual floor plan. This is an architect's scale. Notice the 1/4 inch scale label that the pen is pointing to. This label indicates how many inches equal 1 foot for this scale. In other words, this side of the ruler is for the scale of 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. One of the most confusing aspects of the architectural scale is that two different scales use the same edge. In this example, you can see the 1/4 inch scale on the right. The tick marks associated with this scale start at 0, move right to left, and increase by 2 up to 46. On the left end of the ruler is an 1/8 inch scale label. This scale moves left to right, starting at 0 and increasing by 4 up to 92. Notice that the inches portion of the architect's scale is really just a representation of a 12-inch ruler. The key to understanding how to use an architect's scale is to figure out the value that each small tick mark represents on the inches side. In this example, there are 12 tick marks. Remember that the inches side represents 1 foot. Because this scale has 12 marks, each one must represent 1 inch. How many inches does this line represent? It's important to note that not every scale has a mark for every inch. Let's look at an 1/8 inch scale. Notice that there are several differences between the 1/4 inch scale and the 1/8 inch scale. On the 1/8 inch scale, the marks that represent inches are now on the left of the 0, and there are only 6 marks instead of 12. On the 1/8 inch scale, the inch side still represents 1 foot. Because this scale has 6 marks, each must represent 2 inches. In the 1/2 inch scale, what does each inch tick mark represent? How many inches does this line represent? Now that we've explored the inch side of the architect's scale, let's take a look at the other side, which represents feet. The feet tick marks start at 0 and increase from there. In this 1/4 inch scale, the feet markings are to the left of the 0. In this example, the feet marks start at 0 and go up by 2s. Remember that the other numbers you see here, 92, 88, and so on, are for using the other side of the scale, so we can ignore them for now. Now, let's practice using an architectural scale to measure. Step 1. Always read the scale on a blueprint or drawing. In this example, the scale is 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. Step 2. Rotate the architect's scale and look for the side labeled with the same scale as the drawing. In this example, our scale is 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. So we want to use the side labeled 1/4 inch. Step 3. Line up the 0 tick mark with the right end of the line you want to measure. Step 4. Read the scale marking that's closest to the left end of the line, but not beyond the line. In this case, the mark is at 10. Make sure to read the tick marks that are part of the 1/4 inch scale. For this example, these are the tick marks that start with 0 on the right end and increase by 2-foot increments. This measures the length of the line to the nearest whole foot. In this example, the line measures 10 feet. Step 5. Slide the ruler so that the end of the line matches up with the mark for whole feet measured in Step 4. Step 6. Make sure to count the marks past 0 on the inches side and determine their scale. As we learned earlier, there are 12 marks, so each mark represents 1 inch. Step 7. Count the number of inch marks between the 0 marking and the right end of the line you're measuring. Here, we see 4 marks. Multiply this number by the number of inches each mark represents to find the total inches. So, 4 marks multiplied by 1 inch equals 4 inches. Step 8. Combine the feet and inches measurements to get the total length of the line. In this example, the total length is 10 feet, 4 inches. What is the length of this line using the 1/4 inch scale? What is the length of the line using the 1/8 inch scale? What is the length of the line using the 1/2 inch scale?